Do you feel like
10
Sanking
seconds
is perhaps the
remaining.
poor manix, for the same playstyle that probably
5
Boba's
seconds
going to be playing it
remaining.
in the 4?
Yeah, I expect it to be a 4. I mean, there's like some potential for it to be 4F's hero. I would like to see 4F on something that could contribute more reliably.
Could do something.
I really did not. The Mirana to me was the big weak point. Like, he did what he could with the hero in the role he was given, but like she wasn't hitting that hard. Moonlight Shadow at times was okay, and it did have an economic tax on Cloud9, but like you go to a big team fight, like you want to have that Shallow Grave or that Burrow Strike, like something reliable to actually help you win the fight.
I'm not sure how much we need to talk about it, but there was a fight where there's like 4 sentries dropped, and Aoi had to buy like 4 gems before he finished an item. So, there are some effects.
Yeah, I mean, there was a support tax, but
remaining.
I think you can get that from the Nyx, and the Nyx offers you a lot more team fights, for example. So
yeah.
We'll see what they do. Or even Riki would be another example. Someone who, forces out the sentries and brings a lot more to a team fight with the Cloud, potentially. Not really a DC hero. We'll see how they want to run the Sanking. It is a flex pick. Could be their offlaner. Could be their 4. The other thing that's different this game, I think, is that they probably haven't picked Abed's hero yet, unless they're going to run a core silencer. So I think that's nice. I think most of the teams, the strong teams, do tend to save their mid pick for 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
So it can't be counterpicked as easily. It has a good matchup. He didn't even have a bad matchup, but
I mean, you made that point last game as well, but they picked this Queen of Pain second. So
yeah.
it's.
But I think it's. I don't think he's on the silence. So.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Digital Chaos will draft themselves in a way where the Arc Warden will punish them. Because the last game, in particular, like they had no way to deal with split push, or at least not very effective way. Mason had to be everywhere to deal with it, which was hard on the Terrorblade.
Cloud9.
So I'm expecting the offlaner in particular, like you mentioned, for Forev to be something that could repel pushes.
Gonna ban the Legion. The Bat Rider, probably what DC wants here.
Yeah.
I think Cloud9 should ban it. Because Bat Silencer is really strong.
10 seconds remaining.
And they've already banned the best counter to the lasso.
5 seconds remaining. DC's turn to pick.
Timbersaw. Is DC a Timbersaw specialist team? Is Abed the 10k Timber?
Abed had a couple really good games on the Timbersaw. Okay. Or at least one that I remember watching myself.
I guess they're thinking about taking 3 like melee strength heroes remaining. Now, right? Just a second phase Timber before you have any heroes that are really weak against Timber is just really weird.
Ooh, they're gonna grab the Weaver. A sneaky bug. So strong lanes, the order of the day for DC.
Yep.
Puck is okay against Weaver though.
10 seconds remaining.
But you definitely want more. You definitely want
that. Yeah, that follow-up stun, like an
5 seconds remaining.
The LC ban makes a lot more sense now. Already one of MSS's best hero. Does Cloud9 have a Bloodseeker? Is the question. Bloodseeker seen as one of the best counters, direct counters to the Weaver. Sure, Envy can play it, but I don't know if they practiced it. We're going to see the 4-position Doom here from Aoi.
Cloud9's turn.
I mean, it could even be a core Doom, and there is the bat.
Yeah, Envy does play Doom back in the day.
LFY ran it for Inflame, even though he's technically the offlane player in the safe lane. He got a ton of farm.
That's true.
And it's pretty strong. I think Doom's a solid hero right now.
Actually,
he's not super popular.
The safe lane Doom takes me back to the old iteration of Cloud9 where they would pick
5
Doom
seconds
Envy
remaining.
and he just jungles for like 3 minutes and gives the lane to Aoi as a 4-position support and just farms in the lane. A very different time where the 4-position support didn't roam as much. But, like you mentioned, the possibilities there. There's like 3 to 4 roles that the Doom can play fairly effectively. Likely a 4 though.
DC's
yeah, now that said, sometimes it can be tough for him to get his initiation. And this is something that we, with the global, to worry about. And this is something you and I have been discussing the last few days is, everyone's viewing Legion as the offlaner you want to deal with Bat. But what happened to Abaddon? Why don't we see Abaddon?
We don't see Abaddon as much because the shrine got taken away, right? You used to get shrine at whenever you want, starting from minute 0. But now you have to wait till level 5. So a lot of these offlaners that can't really mess with the safe lane as much aren't like compared to LC directly. Like overwhelming odds is a hell of a laning spell. Abaddon is gonna have a tough time. Now the reason he's picked here is because he could cleanse himself and then cleanse others. A way to deal with global. And he itemizes fairly decently against Silencer. Like a Lotus Orb early.
Yeah, you get. I mean, basically, you get Greaves, and then
Lotus,
you are the Silencer Bat initiation counter.
Yep, pretty much.
But that is a decent amount to farm
for an Abaddon, especially.
Yeah,
so that doesn't farm well.
Yeah, I mean, still could be the 4-position Doom. We're not entirely sure about that, but it looks like an MSS Abaddon. It's either an NV Doom or it is a support Doom, and that we will find out soon. So, final round of bans now coming. As for C9, you're either banning an Envy or an AoE hero. I think you're probably banning an Envy hero. They don't have a great objective taker right now. That makes me think Envy's hero has not been selected yet. So who is your best Envy hero that can take towers, take Roshan?
Terror
or at least
Blade.
split
Cloud9's
Metamorphosis,
turn to
Terror
ban.
Blade.
Ooh.
Puck Terrorblade has been seen such as a strong dual combo because Puck comes online very early. You get a coil, you get a kill or two, and you pop Metamorphosis for a tower. It's just rinse and repeat. I think we saw what the Queen plus Terrorblade could have done last game.
10 seconds
I think Puck
remaining.
Terrorblade does it even better.
5 seconds remaining.
And I think honestly Terrorblade is quite good against this particular lineup. You have a very high armor hero against Weaver.
Sand King makes him a bit sad. I think that global lasso can be a problem until the Abaddon gets the farm, but
yep.
I think late game Cloud9 would have the answers for it. Or even like mid game maybe.
In terms of other safe lane pushers, MV does play quite a bit of Juggernaut. Not exactly the best pushing hero, but Healing Ward can be a big threat.
Not so good against Batrider Weaver. Like I don't know about
if you could spin before you get lasso, it's like
I think you really want a ranged building hitter, ideally. Or someone who's mega tanky, like maybe
there's always
consider a Sven.
Bristleback, if you want to go that route, but not exactly the best seizure. Although, let's not forget Abaddon with his Frostmourne or Curse of Avernus or whatever they call that spell now does just enable your team to push very quickly. Doom could just pick out an Alpha Wolf. So even though, like, let's say Juggernaut is selected, even though individually he's not a good pushing hero, his team provides a lot to help the push.
10 seconds
Cloud9
remaining.
do ban out the TA. I mean, we imagine it's going to be that Fada Puck mid, the MSS Abaddon
5
off lane,
seconds remaining.
Dazzle probably in Pie's hands. So is Doom for any?
DC's
we find
turn
out
to pick.
now.
Slark.
Number
Slark.
5, it's the Slark.
So they
Good against Batrider.
good against the Silencer.
I mean, honestly, good against all these heroes,
Yeah.
except that he's slow and he wants a lot of time to farm. But in terms of like mid to late game matchups, Slark is a great pick. Going to be almost
10
impossible to
seconds
kill with this
remaining.
selection. What did DC do to respond? They
5
want their
seconds
Abed hero,
remaining.
likely, barring a crazy core silencer mid, which I don't really expect.
Dragon
Being
Knight.
You may now
Knight.
select
So
your
you want to play
heroes.
Slark, you want to go late, you're running this greedy Doom support. Great, we're going to come push you. What you going to do about it, Cloud9? That's the plan for DC.
I don't think Cloud9 is particularly weak against the push either, though. Like, they could, let's say, weave defensively and just stand in front of the towers. And I'm not sure how DC could push and fight into that. But I think the most important player for me for both teams, it's going to be for Cloud9 MSS. He needs to have a good lane. He needs to get that Greaves. He is supposed to be the guy that ties this lineup together against the global. Whereas I think for Digital Chaos, as always for them, it's about how Boba roams, whether he could control the mid lane for a bit and allow him to snowball.
I'm a little sad that Abed's not getting
10
more of like a
seconds
hero that can take
remaining.
over the game. Obviously Meepo. Is
I mean,
the one
that-
without- Invoker maybe.
Didn't we
5
cast a
seconds
Hellraiser
remaining.
game where was a Swift ending?
Kaiser on the Shadow.
Kaiser,
team.
no, yeah, Kaiser on the I believe Dragon Knight, and then they had 33 on Clockwork, and we were like 55 minutes in the game, and it was like a DK Clockwork just like taking over with their damage output and stuff. So
That's true, but
it's not like a
It's not-
traditional
it's
strong
just-
late gamer.
It's kind of like when Dendi used to be, one of the top mids, and anytime Dendi was not on, Quap, TA, Pug,
Pudge,
something
yeah,
like Pudge, like some playmaker. We're like, oh, it's not really a Dendi hero. It's like, yeah, he can play those well, and maybe that's what the team needs.
It's not flashy. It's not your edgy, emo, 17-year-old mid player.
Yeah, exactly. Ahmed's not very edgy, though. I will say.
He seems very mellow.
He's a very well-mannered, super polite guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he raged eternally, but...
What happened to the Meepo, dude?
Yeah, the Meepo and the Invoker.
What happened?
Prepare for battle.
Forsaken by
The NA Waters have changed him.
I don't think he's changed. Actually, I think DC have told him he's not welcome to play those. They don't believe in those heroes.
Shame.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think it would have been a good Invoker game, for sure. Doom, Slark will make that hero
But Meepo,
potentially pretty miserable.
I think Meepo would have been a fine one for this game.
Yeah, I mean, Doom's still annoying. Like, Doom's annoying for any carry. I think Dragon
Doom's annoying, period.
I think Dragon Knight's probably one of the best heroes to be
to
Doom,
not get
though.
Doom. Yeah, or
Like,
to not
as
care.
long as he's in Dragon form, he's pretty much doing his thing. So that is one thing I like about this Dragon Knight selection.
All right, let us get ourselves in the game. Players
30
exchanging
seconds
pleasantries.
to battle.
Is there a particular draft that you personally like more?
I like DC's draft more. I think Cloud9's is a little too greedy, but I do want to look at how the lanes are going to match up. So it's going to be MSS in the off lane of Baden up against a Weaver Silencer. Some pretty heavy harass there.
Yep.
Fada will be mid as Puck versus a Dragon Knight, which generally is pretty Dragon Knight favored from what I've seen. Even if the Puck is a little better
The
harassing
battle
early, like
begins.
DK just kind of shrugs it off. So I think that lane looks good. Safe lane, you've got a Slark against Batrider. That's really easy for Slark because of the way the Dark Pack interacts with the Napalm. So I think that lane should go well. I think really where the game hinges is the Doom's movement in the first 10 to 15 minutes and what Aoi can get accomplished, and then some of those mid-game fights. They are going to leap onto 4F here. This is a great way to start the party in the bottom lane. They get the Poison Touch slow. This is the win lace. I think 4F dies here, but he will take hefty punishment.
He's got a South, so he's not happy with that. He had to use South now, but it's... At least get the wave. Wait. Pilot Eye is coming back in. Can he get in range for the Poison Touch? Yeah, he does. One more hit. Salve is going to get canceled. He got most of the regen in, but still.
Yeah, 4F really wanted to ensure that those creeps did follow him all the way up.
Yeah.
They lose vision walking up the hill, and so if you don't turn around and aggro them, they will just turn around, and then he might not get the experience. But instead, he's blown a salve, and he's lost most of his tank.
He's going to get touched again. If that Poison... Yeah, there you go. Touch him.
Man, Pilot guy. So yeah, I think I like DC's draft better, assuming they have a decent lane stage, which I think they should be able to. 4F can always go to the jungle. I don't think there's too much you can do about that early. Maybe Doom tries to harass him.
Interesting way to play Doom mid. Eats a big creep and just comes in and threatens to thunderclap on the bed. I'm not sure how much he's actually accomplishing here, apart from just taking Fada's experience. And Infernal Blade selected us too, just harassing hard. Okay.
Denied.
And DK still CSing away. This hero, man. They're dual laning him and he's still even with the Puck almost.
Yeah. A lot of the early dual lane, one of the objectives you want to accomplish is obviously trying your best to harass out, but also trying to deny the range creeps. And look at the nuke coming back in. Double nuking a bed. He might just get burned down. Pops a Fairy Fire. He will survive. And the Salve will get used. I think seeing all of this might just go away and eat another creep.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment. Shimada's going to slip a bit in the level department. Already Abed level 3. The bottle's coming soon, assuming he gets these last hits. Looks like they won't be contested, so he probably will. I jinxed him.
Bottom side looks like Batrider is still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this bottom lane is rough.
Oh, maybe not. He's actually level 3 already. Pi still level 1. Envy still level 2. Yeah, I think he's doing fine. Not getting a lot of farm, but...
Yeah, he's going to get his levels. He's going to go to the jungle at some point. Like, you can't really win the lane against Slark. Oh, you got all those napalm stacks? Well, I could just remove those, so... How greedy do you think Envy will be this game?
Like whether he's going to get a Hanamitis?
Yeah, like item selection, how much time is he spending farming versus ganking.
I think seeing the fact that there's a Dragon Knight mid on the other side, I don't think he could afford to be too greedy. He might go back for a Hanamitis if he thinks the game is, doing okay after the Shadow Blade, but likely I think he's gonna go long by
Owie with the hate for up.
Yeah. This Infernal Blade harasses doing much more than I anticipated. You gotta keep in mind this is a Dragon Knight, and he's still feeling the pressure. Imagine if this is like, I don't know, a squishy Shadow Fiend or something like that. Another blade comes on, they pop the fire, he's gonna tank, he claps him, and I bet it's gonna be going down. Dragon Knight giving first blood, not a sight that you see too often these
And
days.
Owie gets the last hit. That is huge.
Yeah.
That commitment. Just kept him whittling down his HP. No support for him mid. Bulba was busy trying to take over the bottom lane while they sent the Bat Rider to the jungle. So the way DC has chosen to lane it, actually a little bit greedier. Now it does get punished. Still comes back and get back to farming. Still out leveling Fada. So at the end of the day for Dragon Knight, your most important objective is get a fast level 6, try to push that tower. He's still on track for that.
Yep.
Radiant are scanning.
Ace Root, Fata, we'll take it up. You know the biggest surprise for me is, they might actually force a kill on a bed. Forces him to actually skill the stun and use it here on Aoi. The biggest surprise for me is that MSS is able to get 16 CS in this offlane against a silencer harassing him with delays and stuff. I guess the Aphotic Shield, even without having access to that early shrine.
He also just started with a ton of regen as well.
Yeah.
I believe he expected
A-tangles.
this as they are again pressuring Abed in the mid lane.
This time forces a TP.
Owie with the committed dual lane. Finally, Bulba's going to rotate and help his friend. Abed keeps on bottling up. Nice delivery there. Mioa Forab in the bottom lane, actually getting aggressive here on Pi. Trying to roast him, the napalm stacking up. Not going to commit too far. Just respect that tower. Yeah, finally DC have decided like they do need to help this mid lane at least a little bit. They're gonna bring Dubu in as well. They might try to go for a kill on Fada. So maybe level 1 phase shift, definitely a killable target if they can get in position, and no direct radiant vision of this flank, but I think he may have seen Silencer with that ward up the hill.
Yeah, Fatas have been aggressively using his orb to harass as well, so you could catch him in between the orb's cooldown and maybe force a kill. But he's also doing a number on Bed. Abed has Fairy Fire. Sorry, not Fairy Fire. Infused Raindrops. And he's got all of the charges burned already. And now they force the kill. The Fire Breathe will miss. Here comes Dubu as well as Boba. They want Fata. Burrow Strike. Shit hit. Oh, he's got the fire turned on. He actually doesn't take any damage. And now they are focusing different targets. Fata wants Abed, and he is going to get him. Wow.
2v3, they get the kill. Doom. Very strong hero at this stage of the game.
Got the Alpha Wolf creep now, so exchanging aura a bit.
He ran into the creep wave into 3 heroes, and they just ignore him. Like, how many supports can you say that about? Maybe Night Stalker?
Oh, if he could get an Inferno Blade on Dubu, that's a kill. Well, he needs to activate Shrine now, which still is a win for Aoi there. You force a position 5 support to activate a Shrine and the mid doesn't get it, feels bad for Abed.
Aoi, again, just coming up huge for C9. Whenever they win, it really does feel like he always has a big game in the laning stage, and that is, at least for now, the case here. He's got the Scorched Earth ready. They're bringing in reinforcements in the form of the Dazzle. That does leave the NB Slark bottom. He's completed a Hood Loomy, so this is definitely suggesting that he wants to do a lot of early fighting.
What is this? Hood is Slark? Is this the new meta?
Yeah, if he loves this Hood, huh?
I mean, is this a good Hood game? Last time he got it, last game we said it was kind of alright. Not really.
It's a little, it's better this game, but it's not amazing.
I mean, it's not a Shadow Blade, that's for sure. What is he gonna do with his Hood?
Frontline tank.
Alright.
There you go.
Tank Slark.
The Tark. Thank you, Bulba.
That was so on time. Meanwhile, big dive happening in the mid lane here. Dubu's gonna get poison touched up. I think he might be the target here. Silence coming out from Fata. Aoi running amok with the fire turned on. Coil's gonna get hit, and Dubu is gonna just get burned down by the fire. The question is, are they gonna get a little bit more?
A really good spread there by Cloud9. Abed went Dragon Form, but did not have the vision and or the range for the Dragon Tail and the Puck. With the main here, they could have potentially killed. Not able to do it. Went for those 2 early points in Dragon Blood to try and withstand this harassment. Also means he doesn't have the 3rd point in the Breathe Fire.
Yep.
Which might have helped them secure some of these kills.
I think Cloud9 has really clipped the Dragon's wing. Like,
Doom has won them the laning stage. Like,
Doom
Aoi has won them the lane.
And he's coming back in again here. Dragon Tail being used offensively again. Could not get in range for the Inferno Blade.
I compare his effectiveness to, say, Bulba's, for example. Aoi's level 5. They've killed mid multiple times. They've won 2v3 in skirmishes, forced out TPs, given Envy more space. Meanwhile, Bulba, level 3, spent a lot of time in the jungle, spent a lot of time in a lane solo, and still hasn't gotten really anything done.
I think another way to look at the situation is that Cloud9 has two kind of independent laner, right? You could leave the Stark alone. You could leave Abaddon alone. Whereas I feel like the Weaver needs a little bit more help, and also the Bat Rider in particular.
I consider Weaver and Bat should be independent.
Right, but in the matchup that they're getting, right? Like Envy beats the Bat Rider, so Sand King felt like he needed to help there. Yeah, the Weaver probably doesn't need any help.
But Envy got help early. Dazzle was just sitting bottom. I think it's just Doom has done more.
You think he's just doing more with this hero? Okay.
Because like Silencer was also parked top.
Because I feel like the Sand King could sit mid to I don't know why they left Abed alone.
I think he should have been there early. Well, but now it's probably too late as Abed gets ganked out again. Casual trial and another kill. Now he's on the run now. He's got that Infernal Blade. If he gets a hit on Dubu, he might be done for.
Yeah, Triangle Boots are broken, so that's tough. By the way, that's his second infused raindrops. Those things are costly. Normally mids just get one and that'll be it. Carry you into the mid game, you know. His goal is just being blown through so rapidly. This Dragon Eye is not going to scale.
You can see it in the net worth. 1,300 net worth down. 20 CS down, and the raindrop certainly part of that too. As they look to retreat in the middle lane, they're desperate to make a play, but they don't have a blink of bat. They don't even have the drums. They just don't have that good gap close until either Bulba gets a blink or Forev does.
Forev didn't even have ultimate coming through this gank, so I'm not sure it would have even worked. But
Cloud9 so much more effective with all their early movements here. And the hate train comes right back for Abed. Why not? It's working. They've got a Veil now. It'll be an even easier kill, regardless of the raindrops.
They're waiting for Coil.
He tries to break the smoke. He's like, hey guys, guess what? 3 heroes in my lane again. Team?
There you go.
No chance.
I think Fata really didn't want to use that Coil. Save it for the next gank. Gets a haster now. My god.
Ay, 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 Lumi. Ay, ay, ay.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, Cloud9 never struggle in the laning stage, or at least when they have good drafts. They don't struggle. What ends up struggling for Cloud9 is the Cloud9 throws in the mid game. And we're approaching the mid game for now. We'll see if Envy in the bottom side might be a little bit trouble if Forev flies over him, but it's gonna be Puck porting back in. It's gonna try to chase down Forev.
As the haster and can commit for it. Fata going deep for this one. Need like 4 or 5 auto attacks to get this kill. Forev jukes into the trees and will end up escaping.
Top lane, I think they're going to try to set up a gank. Doom is available. And Mason has very high levels of Kuchi, so they're not going to be able to catch him. Good attempt, but...
Well, clearly Cloud9 has won the lanes, Lumi. I don't think there's a whole lot of dispute about that. They now have nearly a 4,000 gold lead. All their cores are online. All their supports are doing well. How did DC get back in this game? And how do they have to adapt their game plan from perhaps what it was initially?
I thought here, Envy.
Forev can get this lasso right now.
No lasso skill. Oh. Maybe skill it now? Just leveled up?
Yeah, he did, but... Yeah. He missed. Pile die now, knowing he needs to get out too. Abed is coming. The smoke is there. Bulba's going to wrap around. He could find 2. Envy actually has very little mana right now, though. The soul range just cooled down. So they'll settle for the Pile die kill. Great make on top. But the Weaver's a tough takedown.
Yeah.
I don't think this particular duo can do it unless they get that Doom off. You really have to Doom him mid-Sakuchi or before he gets it off, else he's likely going to escape.
A prize.
We wait. Comes in, gets off the Doom, faces into the trees, the dust gets popped, and they are going to try to squash that bug. Orb comes through, kill secured. Another clean kill from C9.
This Doombringer, man, my goodness. He's 3 and 3 involved in 100% of Cloud9's kills. Well, you said it earlier, whenever Cloud9 wins, it's Aoi showing up big. And currently, he is showing up big. In terms of what DC needs to do, levels. They need Dubu to get 6, and they need Sand King to, well, not get to Blink, but ideally get to level 7 so that he could have the max range of the Burrow Strike and just play catch up. Dragon Knight needs to catch up, Bat Rider needs his Blink. Just bunker down for the next 5 minutes or so, and then fight once you have your key items and your key levels. But global, I think, is the starting point.
C9 coming through, Lumi. They had a very poor start to this tournament. The first 3 days are ones they would soon forget. But day 4, looking good for them right now. This is Cloud9 we're talking about. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's a laning stage, you know? It's fine. The question is, what are you going to do after the lanes? So,
if it was any other team, I would just say, like, yeah, they're looking great. You know, nothing to worry about here. The game should be theirs. They have a Slark. They've got way better late game. They've got a Doom support that's super farm. You know, Fada's on the puck. He's a star on that hero. Just never feel confident really making any predictions when it comes to this team.
Radiant are scanning.
Did reveal someone for a second.
I do believe MV already pinged out there's a ward here, so... As his Shadow Dance loses the passive.
Trying to bait them in, showing himself. DC are not falling.
Dubu is...
Dire are scanning.
Dubu has his smoke broken. And he's looking... Oh, my friend.
Fada aimed his friend, that's for damn sure. They'll come through with the orb connected. C9 crush him.
You wanted out of here, didn't you?
Another pick off for them. The hits just keep on coming. Meanwhile, DC are playing catch up. Abed now going to transition into those drums, try to get back into the game. Borev still working on his blink, but is getting close. Bulba, quite a bit farther
Radiant's
off.
middle tower is under attack.
You know, we've talked about Conka Sandcane in that 15-minute mark being like the dream blink timing if you have a really great game. Bulba, not that close to it. He'll need some me time, but this is not the place to farm with Aoi lurking in the confines of the trees.
During the drafting stage, I kind of compare Sandking as a poor man Nyx for the 4 position support. And you can kind of see why in this particular scenario here. He's level 6. Normally, Nyx Assassin is a threat at this point. He's disappearing off the map. You need to start centering up. But for Sandking at this point in the game, he's actually not a hero still because he needs to farm Blink. And this is where I think you brought up the comparison to Kaka. He had no trouble, you know, level 1 to 5, helping out lanes. What he had trouble was getting Blink Dagger on time. And I think Boba here is experiencing some of that as well.
Envy's moving in. They want to jump Abed again. And there's the pass. Good connection. Now the Veil follow-up. Abed tries to stand his ground. So got those raindrops keep you alive, but also might lose his second set. If he dies as well, that's going to be a tough price to pay. Envy instead turning back, working on Bulba. A little revenge
Dire's
there
top
with the
tower
dark
has
tech.
fallen.
Chills on River Sandstorm, and now re-engages. They commit the global for this. The lasso as well. Envy, where's your hood now, my friend? Down he goes, and MSS on the run. He's already blown the borrowed time. Highlight Die has the grave, but it's only level 1. If he walks in to use it, Borev's gonna punish him. In fact, he might die anyway, just like that. Somehow, it's always Cloud9 and Cloud9. They just can't escape their legacy.
Is under attack.
3 deaths. Crucial ones, avoidable ones. They did get the tier 2 top.
You asked what they needed to do, global, and get a kill. And of course, it helped the fact that Cloud9 was feeling a little bit cavalier on the mid lane, not respecting the fact. Oh, Burrow Strike catches him after the orb. Fata joins in the fray, one by one. The Cloud9 special. Can Fata make it out? No, he cannot. Aoi looks on as his teammates
What?
just feed.
What is with this team? Oh, Lumi. I mean, credit to DC because they timed that well, right? Bulba saw an opening, he baited them in. The Burrow Strike global, instant lasso, timed it right while the Dark Pact had not been used. Otherwise, that's a complete fail of an opening, but
MSS, like, he was in there. His Dark Pact was over. Sorry, not Dark Pact, his ultimate, rather.
Yeah.
Borrowed time. And he just stood there among 4 heroes. DC was like, okay, who do you think you are? We're going to just kill you. And they did.
And really, you know, as someone, like, if you're looking at this team and you're wondering, like, okay, let's say they get into the main event. They're in the lower bracket. How far can they go? You're not going to necessarily get off to an early lead like this. You can't make these mistakes against teams in the main event. So they still have a lot of polishing to do. I imagine that their coach, Stan Kane, is probably like shaking his head a little bit. But good news for Cloud9 now. They are going to react well to this. They know the global is on cooldown. The lasso and dragon form expended, and they walk right into the Roche pit. It's a great shot calling there. Aegis should be there. With that Aegis, let's see what else they do. I do want to talk more about Envy's selection because he completed the pipe. So. Twice now he's gone for a pipe. This is a very early one on the Slark, earlier than the Arc Ward is.
I like the pipe more this game because of the, obviously the Sand King, Firefly, and a lot of the napalm damage is going to get mitigated for himself and his allies.
Dire's middle tower is
But
under
at the same
attack.
time, you have a pipe Slark. Like, what is his effectiveness in this mid-game? Normally, you have a Shadow Blade running around getting kills. So does he feel like, you know, DC is going to be too prepared for that? Does he plan to group up as a Slark with his team and fight? Because that's what Pipe gives you.
It seems like.
It just feels very
Dyer's
different from
middle
the standard
They've got a pack.
Slark game
They've
plan.
got pack leader Zara. You know, he doesn't need damage items. Let me.
Okay. And they got a Pylite that weave, right? Like, let's go with that train of thought. They got the Frostmourne from Abaddon, or rather Curse of Avernus.
Nice
You figured it
try.
out, LD. They just get all these small ways to get damage. And Pipe Slark's going to carry them.
Botto's the carry, right? Fail. Double damager and bottled up.
Okay.
Maybe that's the idea.
Radiant
To be fair,
are
I
scanning.
think given their lineup, like there is some semi-carry potentially from a Doom and a Puck, but
Yep.
whether Itemizing is not really to be carries. Like Aui's building up the buckler.
You think
Puck
that's
is
a
going Yules.
you think that's a casual buckler, or is he going Greaves?
Aui in trouble now. Epicenter being revved up in the top
He's
lane.
got the fire.
He is
Dyer's
tanky.
middle tower
Can they
is
slay
under
the
attack.
beast?
He's getting
Oh,
LT
they-
support.
Radiant's
Yeah.
top tower is under
I'll take a
attack.
tower here too. But the trade is there from Cloud9.
Dyer's
Tower
bottom
bottom.
tower is under
Still,
attack.
that one kill,
Dyer's
750
structures
gold
are
swing,
fortified.
because there was a substantial lead
Radiant's
for
top
Cloud9 that was
tower
pretty
is
big
under
weekend.
attack.
Now they're gonna find Envy,
Oh.
but he does dark back off the last.
He jumps in.
Jumps into the Dragon Tail.
has
Envy,
Aegis.
well, Aegis down. Will his team come to support him? MSS now with the shield, trying to dish out and do what he can. But the Globals now. The Dark Pack's stacked off too, baiting them in deeper and deeper. Perhaps Envy really is that diabolical genius. Now Forev's overextended. He's gonna go down. MSS in the trees. Dragon Tail comes through. Don't think he makes it out of there. All the while, Dubu's like +2, +2, +2, already +8.
doomed the
And
Dragon
Envy
Knight.
comes back into this fight. They doom the Dragon Knight while he's in Dragon form. Aoi charges back forward. They need this Puck to get involved, but Fauna's already committed what he can. Doesn't have the damage.
What is happening right now with Cloud9? These are just not good fights that we're selecting. I know you're trying to bring down a laugh here, but I'm just watching this game.
I'm really trying to keep it together. They're not on the same page. I mean, I think clearly Envy expected more heroes to come in. You know, like he expected the whole team to be there, to have like a fight ready at the right time. He's trying to bait with the Aegis, but they weren't there. I don't know if someone didn't have a TP. Like, we'd have to go back and watch the replay.
Yep.
If they were disagreeing with him and then came reluctantly, but
I think
they're just not quite on the same page. And then it's just little errors, like you mentioned, like dooming a Dragon Knight who's already in Dragon form. The shot calling, it seems too chaotic in these fights. Like, it sounds like it feels like there's like 3 people all yelling out calls at
that's
once.
exactly Cloud9. That's, you described it. 3 people yelling. 2 people with migraines going on. What they need to do right now is finish that Greaves on Doom. I assume he's going Greaves, because these globals are kind of wrecking them pretty hard. And hold that thought here as Aoi runs for
Coil's
Coil.
good though. They're gonna find Forev off the bat. Lasso available, but Bulba getting forced back. Cannot get active in this fight. He's got the Dragon Tail. They try to bring the Batrider down. They will pummel him into submission. Now MSS also dropping low, gets off the save potentially, but Bulba comes in. Phase Shift is gonna dodge that epicenter. Thought it might even kill him off here. He can blink back in potentially and go for that silence killing combo. Meanwhile, Pi going for the TP up. No, not gonna make it. He gets denied. Now the chase is on Mason, wanting MSS to borrow time, already committed. Breathe Fire doesn't quite hit, but still they lock down Aoi. But in from the rear comes Envy, and I believe also momentarily we're gonna see that Puck arrive as well. DC struggling to finish off some of these pesky tanks. The hood is paying off. Now Ahmed's in trouble. He may go down, but the late global. Oh, that could be big. Chasing after Envy.
Got ult, he's got
down
ult.
in time. The pipe and the ult save the day.
Dyer's top
On the back
tower
line,
is under
Fata
attack.
again. He's in the fight. He's gonna get stunned up. Fata needs to phase, and he
no.
dies. All right, Envy coming back in. He doesn't have much mana left. He does have a soul ring though.
I'm hearing a lot of come back in.
Hold on.
Come back in.
Come back in. He misses the pounce. Abed has minus armor. He hits the sun. Aoi pops a drum. The bongos go, go, go. They don't get anything. Now Forev comes back in. All right, you know what the problem is with
I'll
Cloud9?
take that.
Their draft has 1 stun, right? It's the Puck. They can't burst anybody down in the Dream Coil.
And they didn't have Doom that fight. That's like, maybe with the Coil and the Doom, it's enough.
Right. And that's the reason why these fights are like lasting so long. That's why it looks so clowny. And it also doesn't help that Envy's been missing his pounces. But I think as it moves on, like he's gonna get better with that because he now has a Shadow Blade finish.
Yeah, he'll get the Basher,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, or get like a Yasuo so he can chase them more effectively.
So
Get Scotty.
on one hand, we could say like the Cloud9 communication is perhaps going a little bit haywire, but on another, it's just that their lineup is perhaps not very good for these kind of occasions. I think their lineup was good for like the one pick, not for chaotic skirmishes and team fights in the jungles.
Well, all the while, Mason continues to farm away, and Abed continues to catch up. He completed the blink. Silver Edge now being queued up. So their cores are getting back to this game in a big way, but the supporting cast is really struggling. You basically got a quad core emerging for Cloud9. Very much not the case for DC. And if you have too much farm concentrated in your carries and you're against the Doom Lumi, history tells us that can be painful.
Well, he's building towards the Lincolns, Mason at least, so he's going to be fairly resistant to that. But I'm actually more worried for DC because the Radiance is coming online for Abaddon. So far, the Abaddon hasn't really been a big factor. Like, he's trying to put shields on people, heal allies, but once that Radiance is online, I just don't think DC have a proper solution.
So you're really strongly favoring DC as it says later.
No, I'm flavoring Cloud9.
Or sorry, Cloud9.
Yeah, for sure. The pipe might seem very awkward on the Slark, but it's really allowing their team to survive these team fights. Imagine if they don't have the pipe. I think these team fights, they just get completely ran over. And I think Envy is not really playing as the true one. He is kind of sharing the wealth and the glory and the responsibility with MSS. I think MSS moving forward is going to do...
And with the Doom.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower
This is definitely
under
like a
attack.
more of a team effort thing compared to last game where it was really Envy
Radiant
on the
are
R board and
scanning.
doing more, solo stuff.
As Wards, peppering the map, wants to do something with them. Here
Dire's
comes
top
Foreb, though,
tower
sneaking
is
up.
under
No
attack.
detection on Cloud9, aside from a
Dire's
Dustin
structures
Owie's
are
stash, I
fortified.
believe, or maybe his backpack.
Radiant's
So
bottom
here comes
tower is
DC.
under
They
attack.
might want to find a key lasso to start this fight. If you grab MSS, things really go right. No, they're going to global. And now they pull back the puck, controlling him nicely with the epicenter revving through. Instantly Fada down. Now MSS on the run. They can get more, at least 2. Probably that's it. Envy's far enough away. Should be able to get back towards safety. Just got to save a stun. Borrowed time comes out, but Bulba still has a burrow strike. No escape for Mojo Stormstout. He mentioned Radiant's coming soon, but it won't be yet. Down he goes. Another couple of crucial kills as DC's war engine keeps on gaining steam. Almost a dead even game numerically. The BKB, I believe, completed now and flying out for Abed. So he becomes a fearsome force in the front lines. Almost like making life hard for Owie, right? Now you really do want to doom that Dragon Knight with a BKB.
Well, he is working towards Heaven's Halberd. Looks like it is just a casual buckler for the armor that Doom very much so needs. If he could get off the disarm on the Dragon Knight, much of that BKB is going to be somewhat useless. And of course, there is a solo crest on Aoi as well. Here comes a 3-man smoke with the team. And Doom is available.
Fada smoked up. Creeping forward with Owie and Pi by his side. This trio squirms through the jungle, looking for an opening, and Dubu's the man they'll find. He doesn't have global anyway. Down, Silencer will almost certainly go. Get that veil up, one more slash, and finish the trick with the Infernal Blade. Last hit going to Owie. One step closer to that Heaven's Halberd. As far as item progression here on DC, the Lincolns is online for Mason. Now working back towards the Diffusal Blade. Bat Rider 4-staff already completed. BKB coming next.
Dire's
Bulba
top
going to be the
tower
pipe
is under
carrier
attack.
should this game go on long enough. The gem is what Silencer wants. So. Not the sexiest items for DC, but they are casually crewing theirs. Honestly, still pretty impressive that they didn't completely crumble after that laning stage, let me have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it helped that Cloud9 gave them 2 team fights in a row to
Dire's middle
put them
tower
right back
is
in the
under
game.
attack.
How do you feel about Lincoln's coming out from the Slark? It does block some very key initiation spells, but, to me, it seems very easy for, let's say, the Diffusal Blade that's coming out of Weaver to just, pop it right off and go from there.
Obviously, there's a lot of ways to break it. Right? Like 4-staff on the Bat Rider, you've got the Dragon Tail.
Dire's
So,
middle tower
I
is
think it's
under
okay.
attack.
I think it'll be better late game, and if it turns into more of like a split push scenario. But it also means it's more time. Like, Envy has a lot of gold, and he does not really hit all that hard in these fights. He's, as you mentioned, very much a utility hero.
Yeah.
But I think that suits the way they want to play this. They want the Abaddon to be kind of a secondary carry. They want the Doom to dish out damage. So just more utility, more tank is the game plan they've chosen.
Yeah.
decided not to put all their eggs in the Slark basket.
And as the team fight goes on, S and Shift is gonna be, supplementing the damage a little bit. You were kind of joking with things like Pack Leader's Aura. I mean, all of that small stuff does help. So
Yeah, the bongos.
the bongos are out of charges for Aoi.
But there's just their mere presence, Lumi, inspires the masses.
All right, he's gonna go on a bed. A bed actually just laughs, and
Envy. Dark Pact used, and now Envy gets wrangled in the river, pulled back in. A quick feed for him, and a huge kill for DC. Timed it just right with the global. Well, that's where a Lincoln's would have saved you.
I mean, at the same time, him hitting your bed 20 times and accomplishing nothing is also questionable at best, I guess.
Yeah, positioning in a different way would mean he doesn't need the Lincolns either. So definitely arguments to be made. Both sides.
One small thing about the Lincolns is that the mono regen aspect of it is also, to me, somewhat underappreciated a lot of times. Granted, he has a Soul Ring already, but it still helps. Epicenter comes out on the right side, and it's going to catch the Doom. Doom down to half HP instantly, and Aphotic Shield brings him out a little bit, but he runs back in. He pops off the Doom on...
Didn't actually get it off. Mid-cast animation went down with the BKB. Too much hesitation from Aoi, and also just too much chain stun. Now turning back, finding that follow-up stun, finding that follow-up kill. Thana's down. Envy's lone death has turned into 4. DC, Roche as well, as they scrap and claw to hit that 7-7 mark, heading down the stretch to their final match.
Yeah, they really believed they could have challenged the Roshan. They did have the puck, so maybe going for a steal play was definitely in the books, but unfortunately, great vision by DC. That's how they've been winning all of these fights. Was able to actually catch Doom to begin it, and I believe Doom stood on this side of the river and was seen by the ward across the river.
So this side, you're saying?
Yes, and he was seen by this ward over here. And as a result, the team fight started the way it did. Envy walks in.
This can't be happening again. A team with like a dupe Slark crushes the lanes. The Puck's having a great start. The Abaddon's doing well off lane. Their lineup scales really well. They have a really strong mid game.
But they're not building items to scale, right? Envy has a hood first. Like,
well, and then they're still dying. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like Cloud9 should be in the driver's seat, and they have somehow allowed DC to wrest that control away from them.
I also think that the laning stage didn't tell like the full picture, because DC also weren't really at the full fighting force. They didn't have Global then, they didn't have Blink Lasso then, so
Abed has this double damage rune Blink. He is ready to rumble.
A prize.
And Shadowblade coming out too. Silver Edge, not exactly seen as a counter to Abaddon, but very good against him. So what you can do is you break his ability to activate his ultimate as a passive,
yeah,
and then you could just chain stun him to death, which is something that, Abaddon on papers is very resistant against, so even MSS can't feel too confident.
So you think it's mainly for the Abaddon?
I mean, also just like good scaling damage item for DK, but yeah, mainly for the Abaddon.
I guess it breaks the essence shift. Do you lose your charges on it, or you just can't get any more? I don't actually know how that works.
I think you can't get any more. Pretty sure you still retain what you got.
That'd be pretty broken if it just pretty strong. MSS does have his Radiance, glowing with the fury of 1,000 suns. Do they just change the gameplay? Is it now, let's take a lane, let's abuse our quad core?
They have to.
And go.
They don't
40,
have any
60, 70 minutes.
They don't have any options to just fight early, because I just don't think they are in a position to win fights. They need to itemize to outlast the global, whether it's to find items that could dispel the silence or just be tanky enough to survive through it.
That's sneaking in, has the Invis rune, double damage rune active. Big opportunity here, and who have they found? It's Mojo Stormstout, caught out. Lasso's gonna bring him back. He does get healed up just a little, but the positioning of DC is such that I don't know that MSS gets any help. They're going to try. Fi's got the Grave. They keep him alive longer, but still no reinforcements really coming in. Off split push, he has Fada. They're going to stun up the Dazzle, kill him instead. Now the Abaddon goes down 2. It's 2 for the price of 1. Dupu even holds the global. All the while, just a little plink, plink, plink from Fada. The puck that could will finish off this tower. And And Envy shoving in the top lane.
So the Dazzle as a pick has really not done much, and this is not because Pi has been playing it poorly, it's just that the lineup he's against, first you're up against Global, so it's hard to actually use your Grave at a good
Radiant's
time.
middle
And secondly,
tower is
DC
under
just
attack.
chases so well with so much damage over time spell that
Radiant
sure, you could Grave, but
structures
as we saw
are
there, like DC just sticks on the target, and they'll kill him eventually, and they'll kill you too. So
Dire's bottom
I think the
tower
Dazzle's
is
second
under
pick has
attack.
been punished very heavily.
Radiant's
I feel
middle
like Dazzle's
tower is
effectiveness
under
last game
attack.
wasn't that high either. His weave was doing a lot, but
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
yeah.
tower has been denied.
Through. So tower gets denied. By the way, also MSS did get denied in that last one.
yeah.
Nice play by C9. Still though, another death for the C9 squad. The batting goes down.
For
Not what you want when you're going Radiance and trying to farm to the late game.
for those of you guys that haven't seen or play Abaddon too much, you can't deny yourself with your little heal / nuke, the Mist Coil. It does take HP from yourself. And if you use it right about to die, you can just deny yourself. Really hard to do in the middle 4 heroes though, so that's the impressive thing there.
An even game on paper. Just feels like DC have had all the momentum for some time now. Cloud9 get it together. While this is not a must-win game for them, they control their own fate.
I mean, every
Facing
game's a
Hellraisers.
must-win game for Cloud9, I think.
It's important for a number of reasons. If they win this, then against Hellraisers, it may not matter the outcome of that series. Like, it's possible if Hellraisers lose their next game and C9 wins this, I think they go through no matter what, because they have one win to Hellraisers 4. So in that sense, it does matter. And then also it gives them the insurance where even if Hellraisers wins
Radiant's
one, the best
bottom
Hellraisers can do is
tower is
catch
under
them and then
attack.
force a tiebreaker. So still relevant in that regard. You can also make the morale argument, but hold that thought, because here come Cloud9 charging in. Envy with the link. It's Dubo in position to break the smoke, but not the Invis. He gets up the global nice and early to start the fight. Can they follow this up? Coming through. Oh my God. Drills them with the Envy. Huge combo, but the damage isn't fully there. They need more from Abed, pumping it in as best he can. Vada's almost finished. Gorev roasting him up. In a sauna of ice and fire, they do start to fall. Now turning back for MSS, blasting him around with the flame break, the burrow connection. 2 for 2, they got the Dragon Knight. Cloud9 salvaging the fight decently at that, but now Aoi being run over. The big bad carry of this engagement should be Mason with the Diffusal Blade charges ready. Can he find more kills? Aoi a bit too tanky. The evasion, the armor, saving his life. It looked real grim there for Cloud9, but the pipe paid off.
The pipe actually did do a lot. Man, that team fight started terribly for Cloud9. They found the target that they want to kill first, which is really the silencer, but he still got off the global, and then they got, what, triple man burrow strike into an epicenter?
Such good position.
That looked like the fight was absolutely over, and then you're like, wait, DC is actually not doing enough damage because of the pipe.
Now they are. Now there's an MKB on Mason, which you did not have in that last fight.
That definitely helps, but at the same time, Cloud9 is working on double Heaven's Halberd. So if you could get off a disarm on either the Dragon Knight or on the Weaver, then you could take him out of the fight, BKB or not, for a long time. And that's going to be something that Cloud9 is looking towards you. But at the same time, Cloud9 in the next fight, what they need to really concern themselves with is damage output.
Invisibility!
That team fight lasted for a long time, and Cloud9 just, it felt like they couldn't kill anybody.
Definitely feels like the Slark will want a damage item.
Okay,
and
he picks
Echo
up
Saber
Echo, yeah.
is secured pretty late, Echo Saber, but it is a value pickup on Slark with the way Essence works. Normally you see this item grabbed very early because it also enhances your farm potential
Radiant's
a lot.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
Missed some
has
of that
fallen.
value. Silver Edge is now complete on Abed. This could be the difference maker for what you mentioned, just killing the Abaddon, chain stunning him with no passive borrowed time auto activation available. Also, the damage reduction against the Radiance Parry, nothing to sneeze at. His Gorev charges into 5 and just a
He drops
the gem. He drops
the
the gem.
global goes down. They're going to commit on the Abaddon, but they don't have the chain stun follow-up without the lasso. MSS should be fine. He will get off the borrowed time here, stays alive.
Radiant's
Still on
bottom
the run.
tower
They might
is
get this
under
kill
attack.
anyway. There's a blink available. Abed doesn't want to risk it.
That was a huge win for Cloud9. They just bought a gem for Eternal Envy. He was carrying it, and then Batrider came in with his own gem, and then just got absolutely trucked. So now there's 2 gems available on Cloud9, 0 for DC, and now the Shadow Blade is going off for Envy. Like, there's just not enough detection for the side of DC to deal with it right now.
Bit of a game of ping pong between the two squads as Envy charges in. looking to return serve. Abed blinking away at the last possible moment.
Roshan spawning soon.
Soon? Not soon enough. 2 minutes from now, that will be up. Probably a global again.
Attack.
70 seconds to go on that. So instead, they'll try to secure the map control to
Dyer's
set up
middle
for that
tower
next row.
has fallen.
C9 clustering around the enemy shrine, farming their jungle. They'll do a little de-warding here, get their own wards down, and without that gem, all of a sudden this ward is value, Lumi.
Yeah, and Cloud9 also knows that there is no vision for sure on the side of DC, right? Because MV is walking through the jungle. His passive, Shadow Dance, is constantly on, so he is 100% sure that there's no vision, and they can prepare for it. They weave up on the high ground, and are they thinking about Dubu? Are they thinking about Mason? Dubu is the target, I believe, that you should go for.
C9.
Dyer's courier
Goes for the
has
courier.
been killed.
Nice little snipe by Envy.
Okay.
But Abed could get caught out here. Doesn't have the Dragon Form yet. He gets jumped on initially. Are they able to focus him down? The BKB's committed, but it's right as he's doomed. He doesn't have the Dragon Form active. Huge loss in this fight. They don't really have to worry about that Dragon any longer. And now focusing down Mason. Can they finish him off? Silence. No, he gets the time lapse off, retreating out quickly. Buyback is there. Dragon Knight potentially going to be able to rejoin the fights. And with the Dragon Form, can C9 get this follow-up damage? They don't have the last one any longer. The control's a bit lacking, but Pilot, I mean, pumped with damage from Mason will fall, and now they've also killed off MSS. 2 going the other way. DC sustained through the fight, and now Boba on the chase doesn't have a 4-step to go with that blink, so won't be able to catch Owie.
They check Roche, and it's not up, but it's only for just a couple more seconds if they want to recheck it again.
Here I
I
am.
think they do stick around this pit. They do some dewarding. They'll shove in mid in the meanwhile. The Dragon Form's got a lot of time left. There's still a cheese up on Abed.
So I think a couple things went wrong for Cloud9 in that team fight. First, they doomed the Dragon Knight. Yes, they did catch him before the Dragon Form was up,
Silence.
so he wasn't really that big of a threat. Fada's just playing very aggressive right now.
Does have a Lincoln Sphere of his own. I don't know
Yeah.
if we mentioned that, so.
But the thing
Here's
is,
the Roche. Here's the Roche.
you doom the Dragon Knight, and sure, he doesn't have Dragon Form up. At the same time, you're not killing him because he had BKB.
And if the Weaver was doomed there, he is probably dead. I don't know if he would have been able to get it off, but
yeah, he definitely got off time lapse.
Scan comes through and will connect. It actually caught Boba lurking outside the pit. Under cover of Invis, he waits. He has Epicenter. Envy has the pipe ready. Gem online. Weave gets deployed. Do DC get cold feet? They've got Veil as well as Weave on them. And Envy jumps in, lurching forward for Abed, but he gets up the cheese. He gets up the BKB. Now the silence coming through, and they try to focus heroes down. Where's the damage for DC? It's coming from Mason. He gets it up. The Aegis snatched by Fada in the midst of the chaos. But DC keeping their hitters alive. Envy's up to 29. Essence shift charges, but will he stay alive? Grave by Pi. And from beyond the grave, he tries to get back to safety. 4F chasing forward. Envy goes down. Buyback from the Doom. They still commit for more. Fada lost that Aegis, but he rips his way back in, chasing after Boba. Boba retreating for all he's worth. Has the Blake, has no TP. The Radiance burning him down, keeping those Tranquil Boots disabled. He is a goner. 4F should make it out.
Well, that's a pretty good team fight. They did have to commit the AoE buyback, but still, killing Dragon Knight. Did he have the cheese used? His HP?
Dragon Knight used his cheese.
Okay.
I didn't see who got the other one. And Fada had the Aegis and used the Aegis.
Right. Fada snatched the Aegis.
Snatched the Aegis.
Yeah, so that
that's
was
it for Roche, went to
Dyer's
DC.
top tower
A bit
is
even
under
there, but this could be problematic as they go in with the lasso. Quick interruption though. Yule Scepter shuts it down. Shield clears it off, and now Mason needs to do all the damage here.
that damage
Weaver's
output.
hitting hard. Fada's in deep. Gotta respect the bug.
Okay.
Let's jump out, at least for now, but MSS with no borrowed time. Look at Mason go, ripping through MSS.
They doom him?
He gets doomed, he gets baited, but there's the 4-step back to safety. 4F's in too far, he's gonna go down. Weaver stays alive, they have the buyback here, but no lasso available. Can they focus him down
Yes,
during the
they
duration of this
can.
doom? No deny in sight, out for 100. Mason has slipped, and now as Mason falls, Z9 gets scared and back away. The Weaver buyback cooldown was not used. He actually likes the gold, but C9 may not realize it, and they don't commit for the racks.
Yeah, they don't really have that much physical damage on the rack anyways. I guess Abaddon could have dealt a bit, but his HP was very low, getting chunked down by Mason. So they back off, they shrine up. They know that they have the enemy shrines open if they want it, but Eternal Envy has other thoughts. He's thinking about maybe poking at Dubu a little bit.
Are you feeling the Silver Edge right now from Abed compared to, I mean, basically that's an Assault Caress, for example. I'm not sure what else you could have gone for as a Dragon Knight that you would normally get, maybe like Heart. the Bloodthorn that he's getting now.
I like the Silver Edge. It just looks bad because he hasn't gotten to use it, right? Like he's got the
Dire's
Silver
top
Edge, and
shrine
every
is
time he
under
walks in a
attack.
fight, he gets focused. So maybe that's just Cloud9 identifying the Silver Edge can be a threat to Mason, or MSS rather, and then they focus on him. But I still think it's the right item choice. AC would obviously help, but I think at the same time,
Dire's top
I think
shrine
the
has fallen.
Silver Edge has helped him farm a little bit more, has helped him to be more mobile in these team fights, so on and so forth.
In all that chaos the last 5-8 minutes, they did get back a gem. So Forev has owies now. Very important, as you were talking about. The vision game. C9 still, I think, have the edge because of the
Dire's
Slark
bottom shrine
and his
is under
ability to
attack.
tell when the enemy has wards around. But it's at least something.
I'm also very curious what Envy's going
Dire's
for
bottom
next.
shrine has fallen.
Is he going to pick up more disable in the form of Basher, or are we starting to feel like we need a little bit more damage?
I think Abyssal Blade's okay. It's like a good mix of both. I definitely think it should not be like a tank item.
Well, Abyssal Blade's kind
Like
of
Scotty, for
tank
example.
item.
I would not want to see a Scotty.
I think something like Orchid into Bloodthorn would be quite interesting, especially, you know, just another thing to pressure the Weaver.
Yeah.
Do you see any Lotus Orb coming out on the Dire side? I don't. So I think it'll stick. Yeah, I don't see any Lotus Orb.
Generation!
Speaking of Bloodthorn, looks like Abed is working on one.
Yeah, it seems like Abed is the primary Doom target. I think it's mostly just because he's a lot easier to Doom.
Yeah.
You know, like you try to wait for the Weaver and then you die while waiting to Abed.
Well, he might not die soon now. He's got the BKB finish. He's got a lot of armor to help tank the Weaver, although tanking the Weaver seems a bit...
Yeah, Weaver's got an MKB. Your
Yeah.
Solar Crest is pretty much useless. Like you have decent plus armor, but you also have awful base armor. That is something C9 have really focused on this game, though. The MSS with the Blade Mail, the Medallion, the Vlads. Of course, you have the Shiva's Guard up picked up on the Puck. They already have the Dazzle with the Casual Buckler and his own Medallion. It is truly an armor strat from C9, even if it didn't look like it when the draft began.
Yeah.
Or when the draft ended, I should say. But even so, is it enough? Get the bugs, the MKB, the Dessa, the Dragon Knight's right click coming into play.
I mean, as we saw in that last engagement, Mason can't do it on his own. Like, they could... I don't want to say kite him, but they could like survive long enough where they could get a Doom onto him, and then that's all she wrote. So Mason, despite all the damage that he's doing, he still need a good coordination of a global burrow strike from his DC partner.
A grueling slugfest here on day number 4, the final day of the groups. C9 going deep against DC. DC, an outside shot at an upper bracket berth. C9, the pole position to not be eliminated at the bottom of the group. You know, they may find Pi.
If I... Pious.
What? Really?
Yeah, he's...
Really?
He might... He's trying to TP out. He's got the...
Oh my god. Yeah. That never ends with Pylai living.
No. What a sick twist to this story.
That's not how it's supposed to go. Who is this imposter?
Oh no, I can trust
I just want to
you
say that I
guys.
think TI... It's a big loss to TI if Cloud9 gets eliminated. I'm not saying that as a Cloud9 fanboy. I just think that this team is just truly entertaining to watch. And it'll just be fun for the main event to have some of this clown fiesta. Envy leaps in for a courier because that's the stuff that Cloud9 does, and now he might die for this.
Oh my god. I mean, I swear to god, if you freaking die right now, there's a lasso available. He's going to commit his ult.
They're gonna chase
retreat
him.
away. They do have the global, and they're going to drop it right now, but the lasso gets broken. MSS somehow got it off there.
Baited, calculated, Envy
All
goes
a
back
part
in.
of the master plan for EE-sama. Doesn't get the kill yet.
Mercy was had.
Global
MSS
down,
runs
and
away.
now Abed in trouble. Abed's going to be finished up. No buyback on him. No one to Dubu. Calculated, but Bulba trying to answer back. Can he get the damage out? It's not enough with the FE. Yeah, okay.
Great play by Envy. You see how he baited the team in?
That was a next level decision to dive that courier to the rack.
And then,
turn around at the exact right moment. Let me.
DC, not a very mobile team despite having the Weaver forcing them apart, and then the Wolves coming in from the back. Expert play for Cloud9, and I think that might get them the racks here. The fire trying to be laid out by 4F. They join in, and now it's time to focus the Raxus.
Envy, though, is taking heavy damage. Mason hits hard. They don't have a whole lot of lockdown for him until that coil cools down. It's coming soon. The Doom unavailable. MSS now his turn to take the punishments. They get the range. No DK. Unfortunately, without him, there's probably no chance. No global, no lasso either. Or rather, no global lasso combo, I should say. Though the lasso is up, and 9 now march on the mid. Into their second lane. Hanging on with a hope and a prayer. MSS, borrow time is available. He's not down yet. Sticking around while Envy does the heavy lifting out in front. Not hitting all that hard. They get the 1 lane. They might have to settle for that.
So, at the first half of the game, we're talking about Dragon Knight as a target that you don't really want to Doom because he's so tanky and he could do so much even being Doom. But as the game progresses on, the fact that he has so many active items, the break from the Silver Edge, the BKB, and even the Orchid now, I think he becomes a very good Doom target. If you do Doom a bed, I think you do remove a lot of utility away from DC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much.
And like you said,
so much easier.
Yeah, so much easier to do
anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get doomed every fight, to be honest.
Yeah, and then without the stuns from Dragon Knight, I feel like they can contend with Mason.
They don't really have a great Doom counter. There's no like Transcend back. There's no Centaur, Stampede. Those are some of the more popular ones we used to see. So they're pretty, or even I guess Oracle's potentially decent, but none of those heroes in the game.
I wonder if Ali would think about getting a Aghanim Scepter just to apply break on Doom, although that seems a little bit of overkill. Like, they have no trouble killing the DK anyways.
Yeah, I think it's just a luxury item.
Yeah. Cloud9's inventory looks so funny. They have so many armor items. Highlight Eye also picks up a catch-up.
He wants to go. Well, Forev is certainly not a scared player. He's mad. Perhaps a bit too manly for his team so good.
I believe all of the Dota player in this international are men. So that is a correct statement.
Thank you, Lumi. Bringing us the demographic stats that don't lie.
Yep, stats don't lie.
That's not how it's been here, at least
Thank you. All right, Cloud9, I think what they're trying to do strategically is wait for the next Aegis. It's quite easy for them to isolate the area with the Slug Vision and then just take it. The one thing they do have to be somewhat afraid of is the Batrider Vision on the other side as well.
Feeling confident, and Envy is going for that scouting, by the way. So, Ultra Tank Slark, the name of the game. As DC look to come back, they're going to break the Lincolns nice and early. Could be an opportunity to go in. They're going to start this with the Burrow, but Envy dark packs it off, and now Mason jumps in. Global, who do they commit for? They try to focus on the Slug. No, they want to get the Doom, but the Weaver's already been locked down. Can the Punk finish him off? Shivas come through. He's going to need to buy back. Has into 100 seconds.
In.
No, buyback. Rejoin the fight almost immediately. Should be possible for him. And now Envy still forcing Abed away. Even though he's not doomed, Abed isn't hitting hard enough. The Graves, the saves from Cloud9 are simply too much. Nobody dies. The armor, the heals, the +1s, they just keep on living. Focus somebody down already, DC. Say, we must get a kill. They'll begin it with Dowie. Can they get more? Envy's there, but he's got his ult. 11 Essence Shift Stack starting to ramp up. Chewing through Mason. No timeouts. He's got to back away. Now Boba sacrifices his life, and Fada's there with the punish. Dragon Knight buyback. All coming down to this. DC had a shot coming in today at the upper bracket, but with a loss here, it likely slips away. And now 2 lanes down, a third soon to fall. Ranged racks are dropping. DC are falling. Cloud9 pushing forward. Just 1 melee left. The Megas are theirs. The game is nearly done. Abed being routed. Mason almost dying back. They try to drag one to the down. It's not going to happen. MSS dominating it. GG the call. Cloud9 turned what looked like potentially an 0-2 into a 2-0 and stay alive here at TI.
Wow, what a way to do it. Started well in the laning stage and then standard Cloud9 mid game. Let's not talk about that. And then what a finish at the end. Showing off the utility. I love the way that they itemize their hero, just armor. They know that that's pretty much how DC is going to take over the game. And critical dooms throughout the whole game. Aoi for me is definitely the MVP. For his laning dominance and also for the correct target towards the mid and late game with the Dooms.
I really think they should have given Abed more help mid. I think that was the big mistake this game.
Yeah, I think Sand King needed to.
They just dual laned him, tri-laned him for like 8 minutes, and there's nothing Abed could do. So I would have liked to see Bulba spend more time there, but you know, Even so, DC had their shots, and Cloud9 just outplayed them down the stretch. Scientists are not baffled for this one.
A little bit.
They're a little bit.
A little bit for the mid game.
Yeah.
But
in a good way, anyway.
yeah.
So Cloud9, they take it, guys. That's it for me and Lumi for now. We'll be back for the final series of the day. Not sure what stream.
Newbie DC on stream 2.
But we'll have Cap and Trask stepping in momentarily. Stick around.